Hello, wonderful yogis. So today I am Brittany coming to you with a gentle yoga and meditation flow. So as the name kind of says, it's going to be a very progressive, gentle flow, followed by the second half being a very lovely meditation. So let's roll out our mats, step on, and have some fun. All right, yogis. So today we are going to begin in a lying position down on our backs. So you can scoot yourself forward on the mat a little bit if you need to create space, and then just let yourself melt all the way down. Feel your connections into the mat, each little connection starting to grow roots. And just come to notice and become aware of the energy that you came onto the mat with today. There is no right or wrong. Just becoming aware of our senses and our feelings is such a wonderful source of love, no matter what it brings up. And we begin to slowly deepen the breath, taking active inhales in through the nose and exhaling through the nose or open mouth, releasing tension with every exhale. Maybe extending the exhales a little bit longer than the inhales. And now is a lovely time to set an intention for your practice, something that truly nourishes how your body and mind are feeling in this moment. So if you're feeling a little bit low or a little bit manic, possibly coming to a thought or a feeling that brings you a sense of peace or happiness, and once you set upon this intention, we seal it in with one more deep breath, carrying it with us throughout our flow today. Alrighty, so now we'll make a little banana shape with our body. So bringing your feet over to the left side of the mat. You can interlace the right ankle over the left if that feels good. And then on your next inhale, lift the chest and the torso up just enough to bring that over to the left side of the mat. So we're making that beautiful banana shape with the body, and the arms reach up and overhead. So we're reaching through the fingers, through the toes, feeling that beautiful stretch in the side body. Both hip points are still firmly connected into the earth, so if you need to venture out of the pose a little bit, feel free to do so. Inhale, the feet come back to center, followed by the torso, and let the head all the way down to the toes just unravel for a moment. It's important for us to let the spine reconnect before we go into a twist. And then when you're ready, send the feet over to the right side of the mat. Once again, you can interlace the left ankle over the right if it feels good. And then bring your top half over to the right. Feel the rib cage expand and contract with the breaths as you reach through the fingers. The shoulders are open and heavy down upon the earth as you connect with the breath. Inhale, the feet come back to center, followed by the torso, and just let the spine unwind, maybe tilting the pelvis up and down for just a moment. And the hands drape down towards the sides, firmly connected into the earth. And we gently glide the knees into the chest, feeling any snap, crackle, or pops of the hips. That can feel so nice. Interlace the hands at the knees and just begin to find some gentle rocks from side to side. Massaging the low back, massaging the glutes. And if one space feels particularly good to you, feel free to venture there for a few more breaths. Yoga is all about finding what feels good. And then we slowly come back to center, take the hands, draw them down the legs slightly and interlace them around the thighs. And we'll begin to use the momentum of our legs to rock up to seated. So taking as many rocks as you need back and forth to massage the spine, or you can come straight on up. And we arrive in seated. So when we come up into our seat, the sits bones ground into the cushy earth, and we extend the legs out nice and long in front of us, coming into our staff pose or Dandasana. So our crown is nice and long, our belly draws in and up, and our toes are nice and bright, or tooties as I like to call them. And from here, we will take our right foot to the inside of the left thigh, coming into a little tree pose variation here. Really feel the thigh connect with the feet. We let the fingertips come down in front of us and we'll find a gentle fold. So inhaling to find length in the spine and exhaling to hinge at the hips with a flat back, letting the chest lead the way down towards the knees. Should feel a really beautiful stretch in the back of the leg here. Remembering to keep the toes nice and flexed. The knee can be generously bent if needed. Inhale, we come to rise with intention. And then we find this on the other side. So drawing both feet out and then bringing the left foot to the inside of the right thigh this time. Maybe giving the thigh a little massage with the toes before we set our fingers. And we inhale to rise. Find that string that pulls you up from the crown. And exhale, flat back. Let the breath and the chest lead the way on. You can walk the fingertips forward if it feels good. Finding some nice, easy breaths here. Breathing into the hip that's beginning to open. Drawing the navel in towards the spine for a base for the back. Inhale, come to rise. Extend both legs in front and just window wiper the toes from side to side. Noticing how the legs and the hips are feeling as opposed to when you first stepped onto the mat. Maybe they're starting to feel a little bit more energized, a little bit longer even. And however you would like to arrive in an all-fours tabletop position, take your time getting there. You can roll over the legs or you can float the legs behind you. However you want to get there, just move with intention. You can do a little back up on the mat if it feels good. And as you arrive, the wrists are aligned under the shoulders, the knees are aligned under the hips, hip distance apart, and the tooties are aligned with the knees. So a nice 90-degree angle. The belly draws in and up, creating a sturdy base for the back. And we'll find some very fluid cat and cow here. So inhaling to tilt the tailbone up, puppy belly down, chest opens, and gaze goes forward, cow pose. Exhale, drawing everything in, chin to chest, pushing away from the mat with the hands as the spine curls upwards. Inhale to find your lift. The chest comes through the arms. Exhale, Halloween cat back as you exhale any stale air from the lungs. And I invite you to find a few more cat and cows with your own breath here, letting the breath guide the movement. It's important to find our asana, our physical practice, but the breath should always guide the movement. And then we unwind to a neutral spine, extending the right foot behind us. So let the toes stay connected to the earth and just find some gentle rocks forwards and back, giving the back of your leg and your calf a nice stretch. Shoulders are splayed apart and nice and open here. And finding stillness, planting through the left hand, or the right hand rather. Inhale, bow and arrow the left arm up and over to the sky. The gaze follows the fingers. We're finding just a gentle twist here. Maybe give the fingers a little wiggle as you exhale and let them come back down to the earth, bringing the knee back in center. And we find this on the other side, extending the left leg this time. Find your rocks forwards and back. I don't know about you, but my calves are very, very tight today, so this is a wonderful stretch. And planting through the right foot or the right hand. Inhale, left fingertips float up towards the sky. Give them a wiggle, maybe a smile comes across the face, staying strong through that standing arm. And exhale, release, bringing everything back into center. Tuck under the toes. And listening for a little bit of change, we take a nice deep inhale to lengthen through the spine. And exhale to lift the knees slightly before we send the hips up and back for our first downward facing dog. So the shoulders are down and away from the ears. You can begin to pedal out through the legs. The back is nice and long, so if you need to bend the legs and bend the knees, feel free do so. We want to concentrate on having a nice straight spine. You can shake the head yes and no from side to side, up and down, breathing into this posture. The armpits roll in, and the forearms snug in towards the ears. Finding stillness, the gaze goes to the front of the mat between the hands. We put a generous bend in the knees on an inhale, and then step forward to meet our hands, coming into forward fold. So let the head and the neck hang heavy here. You can find a gentle sway from side to side. Hands can come to opposite elbows here. And if the hands can't quite meet the earth, you can use blocks at any level to bring the floor up closer to you. And you can also put a very generous bend in the knees. Feel the decompression in the neck, in the back. And then letting the hands float down to blocks or to the earth. Bring the chin into the chest. Plant through all four corners of the feet, and on an inhale, we begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time. See how slow you can take this journey. And the head and the neck come last. So as we arrive in our standing pose, our Tadasana, we truly ground into this posture by rooting in through all four corners of the feet. The thighs become nice and engaged, the belly draws in and up, and we find this upward current of energy through the front body. So the chest and the crown are rising up towards the sky. And we have opposition with the back body. So the back body grounds in. So the heels and the tailbone draw down towards the earth. And we bring the hands to the heart. Maybe close off the eyes, coming back to your intention that you set at the beginning of the flow. Grounding into the moment and into the mat. And the eyes gently flutter open, a gentle gaze out past the nose. And we will take some half-sun salutations, beginning to link our breath with our movement. But these are going to be a little bit different. So we'll start with inhaling the fingertips up, bending at the elbows, coming into wide cactus arms. Exhale, float the hands down behind you. Let them interlace at the sacrum. They can either make a fist or they can make a little cup if that feels good. Bend at the knees, a generous bend in the knees. We inhale to use the hands as levers to lift the chest, draw a circle or a line with the nose up towards the sky. Exhale with flat back, hinge at the hips. Let the chest lead the way down to the thighs. The hands can follow right along with you, or they can remain at the sacrum. So the chest is all the way resting on the thighs here. Really feel it connect. Feel the warmth for the next 3 breaths. Wiggle and squiggle the shoulders. Let them open. Exhale to allow the hands to float back up. So inhaling, root to rise, arms all the way up, fingertips lead the way. We're coming into our cactus, so bending at the elbows. Open the chest. Exhale, float the hands behind the back, and we'll find this once again. So put a bend in the knees. Inhale to rise and lift. Exhale to fold, allowing the breath to float you on down to the thighs. The head and the neck hang heavy, and release. Inhale, root to rise. The way, the gaze is with the fingers. Generous bend in the elbows, open the chest, tailbone tucks under. One more. Exhale, float the hands behind the back. Inhale, bend those knees. Exhale, float on down. Exhale, release the fingers. Inhale, rising like the sun, rooting all the way up. Cactus arms. Biggest breath you've taken all day. And listening for some change, we exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Noticing how the shoulders are feeling, becoming aware of the openness, not only in the front of the heart, but in the back of the heart. Now sending the arms behind you, the fingertips are spread nice and wide, so we're coming into little airplane arms here. We'll take another halfway fold. So inhaling to rise and lift through the heart, energizing through the fingers, and exhaling flat back, hinge and fold halfway until a figure 7 shape comes into your body. And once you arrive here, we lengthen through the crown and we lengthen back through the tail. Use your core to help guide you upwards here. And shifting your weight into the left foot, lift the ball of the right foot. So we're coming to the tiptoes. So activating some balance here. The gaze is down and slightly forward. You might start to feel some shakes here. Just means you're getting stronger. Exhale to release the heel down. Inhale, left hand side, lift that left heel, come to the tiptoes. Keep strong through the front body. And exhale, cascade all the way down to forward fold. Let the fingertips touch blocks or the earth. And as you can see, I'm not applying too much pressure to my fingertips here because I still have that upward current of energy through the chest. And trusting yourself here, take a big step back with the right foot. Feel the toes connect with the earth. The front knee is stacked over the ankle, but not in front. And we're using our chest to lift us up. Option of lowering down that back leg. Find what feels good here. No yogi robots today. And wherever you are, the hands can come upwards, up and over, or they can rest on the thigh. We're rising up through the pelvic floor. And the thighs are scissoring in together. Exhale, rain it on down. Frame that front foot. Plant the hands. Find a little bit of buoyancy with that back foot and give it a little leap, bringing the back foot to meet the front foot, coming into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands roll up the shins, long through the spine and tail. Exhale, release. Let the fingertips come to blocks or to the earth. And we'll find this on the left-hand side. So this time taking a big step back with the left foot, knowing that both sides can be very, very different here. You can lower down that back leg. All that we want is the front knee stacked over the ankle. And almost like you're wearing a corset from the Wild Wild West here. You're gonna dial in your abdominal muscles towards the navel and use that to guide you upwards. The hands can follow up and over, or they can rest on the thigh. Wherever you are, let the chest splay open. If you want to challenge the balance, the gaze can come up towards the fingers. Exhale, rain it down. Sound effects are optional. Frame that front foot and bring the back foot to meet the front foot. Planting through all four corners of the feet, put a comes to the chest and to rise. A nice deep inhale all the way up. Reverse swan dive. The gaze meets the fingers at the top as they tap. And exhale, hands come home to the heart. And now we will work with some standing balance. So we'll be working in archery, which is one of my favorites, and it's almost everybody's favorite. So bringing the hands to the heart, really rooting in through your mountain pose, through your Tadasana. Once again, we shift our weight over into the left-hand side, coming to the tiptoes of the right. Make sure that the hips are nice and even here as you rotate that right foot in. And it can either remain connected to the earth with the toes, or you can roll it up the shin, roll it up the thigh. Oh, I got some wiggles too. Find a little point in front of you. It's called a drishti point that is unmoving to help you focus. Really rooting in through that standing leg, drawing up energy through that root. And if you fall out, just venture right back in. Trees fall and grow back all the time. Finding the wiggles. Exhale, the foot comes forward and meets the earth. Give your legs a little wiggle. And then we shift our weight over into the opposite side, coming to the tiptoes of the left. Rotate that ankle in and find the tree variation that feels good to you. So the toes can remain connected, or they can roll up the leg. As long as it isn't on the knee, you are perfect. Find that unmovable spot in front of you to focus your gaze. The hands can come up and over. You can grow branches, coming back to that intention, sending that intention through the branches into the universe. Exhale, if the arms are lifted, draw them back down, draw the leg in front of you, and let it connect to the earth. Take some sways from side to side. And then we will float our way back down to a seated position. So inhaling, root to rise, arms up and over, big sunshiny breath. Exhale, we fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, your version, figure 7 shape. And exhale, release. Let the hands meet the earth. Take one step back, followed by the other, coming into plank pose for just a moment, but we're going to lower right on down to the knees and bring our seat back to the ankles. Shift your weight over into one side so that the legs can float in front of you. You can shift yourself forward on the mat because we'll be coming into a lying position. So make sure that you have enough room for your precious vessel here. And if you would like to engage the core on the way down, the hands can be out in front. And we exhale to lower right on down. We meet that glorious earth. It's one of my favorite parts of any practice. And we just window wiper the knees from side to side. And we find some stillness here. Draw the knees into the chest, just like we did at the beginning of the practice, and take the hands, run them up the legs to the feet. And you can either find your happy baby pose by grabbing onto the ankles, or you can find your yogi toe grip, making your peace fingers and wrapping them around your big toe. Inhale to dial the heels up towards the sky. And exhale to draw the knees towards the earth. Tailbone draws towards the front of the mat, and you can stay still, or you can begin to rock from side to side. Whichever you decide to do, just encompass this happy baby energy. Maybe stretching one leg and then the other. Taking some deep breaths as the shoulders draw down towards the earth. And releasing the hands, keeping the feet the same distance that they are right now. We allow them to float down to the mat. So they'll be about mat distance apart when they meet. The arms come out into a wide Texas T, and just allow the knees to drape over to the right side of the mat. So the left knee is in line with the right foot. Gaze comes out towards the left fingertips, and you can use any props that you need for support under the knee here. Noticing if there's anything that you would like to soften here within yourself. Maybe it's physical, maybe it's a muscle, or maybe it's a feeling that you would like to let go. Inhale, the gaze comes back to center, followed by the legs. Let the spine unwind for just a moment. And the chin draws in towards the chest a little bit to lengthen that spine. And when you're ready, allow the knees to drape over to the left. You may notice that this side is different than the other, and that's completely natural. Gaze can come over to the right fingertips, and you can close the eyes. With each breath, inhaling peace and happiness. And with each exhale, allowing any last bits of tension, even the energy of tension, begins to leave the body. Draw the gaze back to center, followed by the legs. And we'll work our way into our final resting pose. So we'll work our way into our meditation here. So the feet can come together with the knees dropping out to the sides. The legs can be extended, Or you can bring the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees buckle in. This can be really lovely for the lower back. Wherever you are, you can wrap yourself in a blanket for warmth or find a pillow to rest your head and neck. And just come to close the eyes. Ever so lovingly repeating with your own heart and allowing the words to embed inside you. I can find courage even when things are unknown to me. I can find courage even when things are unknown to me. I am safe and full of love. I am safe and full of love. Slowly releasing the affirmations, you become aware of the thought, there is no person or circumstance powerful enough to break you. You have endured and risen from all of life's previous challenging moments and are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. Ever so gently, with your mind's eye, begin to visualize yourself as the primal sun, strong and energized with love and light. Bringing all of your awareness now to your sense of hearing. Notice what you hear as you create and circulate this strong energy. Maybe you hear a gentle rumble, or perhaps it sounds like ocean waves. Whatever it is you hear, let yourself become fully immersed, body and mind. Very slowly now becoming aware of your sense of touch. What is the most prevalent sensation you feel? Do you feel the warmth of your energy, maybe a gentle vibration? The air and the energy flowing through the nose and flowing through your being. Feel what you're feeling. Now, lovingly, with eyes remaining closed, bring your full awareness to your sight. And with your mind's eye, notice what you see as you become this powerful, glowing orb. Do you see the earth below you? Or are you drawn inwards and see the yellow or brilliant white light you are creating whirl around you? Take a few moments to take in what your sight is showing you. With each inhale, the strength within your sun grows. You are strong, but completely light. With a deep inhale, you begin to arrive back into your physical form. But the sun's energy is drawn within you, and over the next few breaths, it seals itself in. This courage and love will forever be a part of you. And before we land in our final rest, I invite you to take a moment to bring to mind a time where you were strong, where you created something beautiful or persevered over hardship, knowing there is no big or small moments. Gently bring yourself back to this moment and remember how it felt physically and emotionally for you in that moment of triumph. And let these feelings envelop you for a time as you rest in your final Shavasana. Ever so slowly bringing awareness back into the fingers and the toes. Bringing yourself back into this space. Brushing the fingers with the thumb, rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles. Maybe rotating the hips and their sockets. And rocking over to one side using an arm or a pillow to rest your head and your neck, a little side sleeper. Repeat with your own heart, I've done my best, and I leave the rest. I have done my best, and I leave the rest. Namaste, lovely yogis.